A child sits alone with one marshmallow. She can eat it now or wait and get two. What she decides in the next 15 minutes will predict more about her future than almost anything else. Why do some people resist temptation effortlessly, while others cave in seconds? The answer isn't about being weak-willed. It's about something happening deep inside the brain. You've felt this battle yourself, hitting snooze instead of getting up, reaching for a snack instead of sticking to your diet, opening your phone when you meant to focus. Here's the surprising part. Research shows self-control predicts academic success, health, and financial stability more reliably than IQ ever could. Inside your skull, two brains are constantly negotiating. One built for survival and instant reward, one built for planning and patience. Today, we'll explore the science behind that inner battle, the biology, the myths, and the surprising truth about how self-control actually works. It all began with a psychologist named Walter Mischel, who wanted to know if a 4-year-old's patience could reveal anything about their future. In the 1960s at Stanford, children were placed alone in a room with a single marshmallow and a simple choice: eat it now or wait for a second one. Decades later, researchers tracked those same children into adulthood, and the ones who waited longer showed stronger academic performance, better health, and greater life satisfaction. To understand why, we need to look at the limbic system, the brain's ancient emotional center, wired to chase immediate pleasure. Facing off against it is the prefrontal cortex, the brain's newer, more rational region, responsible for planning, patience, and long-term thinking. Every time you resist a temptation, these two regions are locked in a literal tug-of-war for control of your next decision. Fueling the emotional side is dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, released whenever we anticipate something pleasurable. Here's the twist. Dopamine doesn't just reward you afterward. It spikes highest during anticipation, which is why craving often feels stronger than the reward itself. For decades, scientists believed willpower worked like a muscle, a limited resource that drains with every temptation you resist. But when other researchers tried to replicate those famous willpower depletion studies, many of the results simply vanished. One popular idea claimed low blood sugar was to blame for weak willpower, but that theory has since been thoroughly debunked. The real culprit is something subtler: decision fatigue, the mental exhaustion that builds after making too many choices in a row. In one striking study, judges granted parole far more often early in the day, and their approval rates dropped sharply right before lunch. The lesson isn't to try harder. It's to design your environment so good choices require fewer decisions in the first place. That's why many high achievers simplify small daily decisions, like wearing the same outfit, freeing mental energy for what truly matters. One clever trick is temptation bundling, pairing something you want, like a favorite show, with something you should be doing, like exercise. Underneath most behaviors is a simple loop. A cue triggers a routine, and the routine delivers a reward, reinforcing the cycle each time. You've lived this loop today already. A notification buzzes, you check your phone, and a small hit of dopamine keeps you scrolling. Self-control also depends on how we value the future. Our brains consistently prefer smaller rewards now over larger rewards later. This is called hyperbolic discounting. The closer a reward feels in time, the disproportionately more powerful its pull becomes. Stress makes this pull even stronger. Cortisol, the body's stress hormone, actively weakens the prefrontal cortex's ability to plan ahead. Sleep deprivation does something similar. A tired brain shows measurably reduced activity in the very regions responsible for self-control. Brain scans make this strikingly clear. A well-rested mind lights up with activity, while a sleep-deprived one goes noticeably dim. Ancient sailors understood this instinctively. To resist the siren song, Ulysses had himself bound to the mast before temptation arrived. Today, we use the same principle. app blockers and screen time limits are simply modern ropes tying us to our better intentions. Another powerful tool is the if-then plan, deciding in advance exactly how you'll respond when temptation shows up.
Mindfulness offers something different, a brief pause between impulse and action, just enough space to choose deliberately instead of reacting. Here's a myth worth breaking. Harsh self-criticism doesn't build discipline. Research shows self-compassion actually strengthens self-control after a setback. The most hopeful discovery of all is neuroplasticity. The self-control circuits in your brain can be strengthened with consistent practice. Even young children show this growth. The same Marshmallow Test reveals measurable improvement in patience as the prefrontal cortex matures. Culture shapes this development too. Studies across different countries reveal that parenting styles and social norms influence how self-control is taught. Modern technology complicates things further. Apps and notifications are engineered specifically to trigger the same reward circuits we've been exploring. But there's a paradox. Too much rigid self-control can backfire, leading to burnout, rebound behavior, or brittle all-or-nothing thinking. So what have we learned? Self-control isn't a fixed trait you either have or lack. It's a skill that can be deliberately trained. The first step is simple. Reduce friction. Make good choices easier and bad choices harder within your own environment. Try the 10-minute rule. When a craving hits, wait just 10 minutes. Often, the urge fades before the timer even ends. Use if-then planning daily. Decide now exactly how you'll handle tomorrow's temptation before you're standing in front of it. And when you slip up, respond with compassion, not punishment. It's proven to help you recover and try again faster. As neuroscience advances, researchers hope this understanding will reshape education, helping children build these skills far earlier in life. In the end, self-control isn't a muscle you exhaust. It's more like a garden, something you patiently tend and watch grow. You don't need more willpower. You need better systems, a little patience, and the knowledge that your brain can still change. If this journey into the science of self-control gave you something to think about, subscribe for more explorations into the mind.